G'day there, Chris Walker here, and today I would like to talk to you about how to fill out the discard form. This discard form is a powerful way of letting go of the past, opening our heart and creating new vision for the future. In fact, I think it's essential. The first thing in the discard form is to pick a topic. You would normally pick a person, someone in your past. I have decided to do the dog poop dropping people, the people who let their dogs poo on the footpath in Bondi. So the first thing I need to do is work out what's my issue with that. And so I'll write down a bunch of things like they don't care, they make a mess for others, they abuse the public space, they're unkind, they're unconscious, they leave a beautiful place ugly, and they are, let's say, aggressive in a sense. Now, what I ask next is, what is it about that I don't like? Because quite often we paper bag things, we package things up and say they don't care, but really what I want to know for myself is, what is it about them not caring that upsets me? So I write a few more sublines so that I can get a more deep or a more clear idea of what's really going on. And there's some examples I've written on the screen. They're unkind, so they've got no compassion, they're not tender, they're insensitive, they are unconscious, so they think they're right, they're pushing their way on others. So now I'm really digging into what really pisses me off about the people who let their dogs poop on the footpath in Bondi. And even to the point of they make a space ugly, so I even put the word rape. I feel like I've been really abused by that. So now I'm going to go to the form, to the discard form, and take some of those things that I've put and put them in the spaces. So I'm going to take, I'm going to the negative, of course. So I'm filling out the negatives by copying and pasting those things that really trigger me, that I think are fairly real about how I feel about these topics. Now I go to the positives, because I'm doing something fairly generic like the poop people. And I just go to the positive side, and because I'm pissed off about it, I've written the negatives first. Now I go to the positive side and write the opposite of what I see negative. So, I've written, there's a good example, intrusive, and I've written in the positive, they don't leave me alone. So I've written the opposite. So now I go to column 9, and I fill in this column by finding all the people that would say, actually, Chris, you like that. You've done that to me. You've been self-important, in this case, to me. And I go through a bunch of initials, and I keep exploring. And this is a really great part of the process. I love it because, you go back to your childhood. Now I flip straight up. I don't want to overwhelm myself with negativity. So I flip straight up and say, who do I know in my life, any time in my life, in all 7 areas of life, that would say I care about them or I care about others? And I write initials until I feel at least equal to the caring that I've nominated, and at least in the negative side, of course, equal to the dog poop dropping people. So what I'm trying to do here is find out where I'm interconnected, where I'm no better or worse than anybody else, and I'm nominating the dog poop people as being, in this instance, for an example, but it could be your dad or mum or your ex-partner. Now I go to the negative page, and I ask, how is this human trait a benefit? And then I go to the positive page, and I ask, how is this human trait in the column 1, how is it a negative? So it's really a beautiful process of finding balance. Now I'm back in the negative side, and I'm finding the benefits to those that I've done it to of me doing it. And the form is, in this way, self-explanatory. Now I'm back in the positives. What's the downside to others that I've cared about them? So I'm taking my perception of everything good and my perception of everything bad and flipping it. Here we are on the negative side. Who observes the opposite? So in those people, they're walking the dog, they're being kind, they're taking that. Who observes the opposite in the dog walking? Well, the tourist, the council, the people who step in the dog poo is a good example. The next one is, Who was, as I walked down the path, I noticed negativity about people doing dog poo, but who were the opposite? And when I walk around the path seeing people caring, where are the opposite? So there's both balance within a situation and balance outside of a situation. Finally, I asked myself on the negative side, if they didn't be self-important, what would be the downside of that? So their self-importance makes me look down and watch my feet. Their caring, what would be the negative if that did? If what would be the positive if that didn't exist? So let me do another one. Here we go. We'll do this one. Insensitive. Who thinks I'm insensitive? Well, here comes the initials: wife 1, wife 2, wife 3, wife 4, wife 5. Then we go through all my children, then we go through all my friends and my clients, and we start digging up stuff. We go back to my childhood, we go back to friends, relatives, my sister, my brother, everybody in my life has seen an insensitivity in me. So I drop their initials into this space, and I keep writing until I really feel and own that part of myself. Now I go up to the positive side, and I'll delete that column because I put one too many. And sensitive, I'm going to say, where am I sensitive? The complete opposite. This is really important stuff and there's really no aim objective in it. You just fill out the form as it's described, and it will just take you through the process. So now I'm finding people who think I'm sensitive. So now I've owned the fact that I'm both sensitive and insensitive to an equal degree. That is really quite a shock to some people's identity and ego. Now I'm going to say the benefit when people are insensitive to me, what's the benefit to me? This wakes me up, it pushes me inside myself. And then I ask the question, when people are sensitive, what's the drawback to me? So if people are sensitive to me, it means I don't look after myself, I don't challenge myself, I don't look inside, and I don't have intimacy with them. The next question is when I'm insensitive to others, what is the upside to them? And again, it breaks them down and helps them get into their truth. When I'm sensitive to others, what's the drawback to them? Back in the positive side. So this form almost fills out itself. It's a really simple process. Who observes or recognizes the exact opposite in them, and who observes the exact opposite to the sensitive people in the dog walk. Who is, when you're walking the dog, when there's insensitive dog owners, there's sensitive dog owners all around us. And when there's sensitive dog owners, who recognize where are the insensitive people. So in other words, there's always a balance no matter where we go. What would be the downside of not having insensitive people? I've written it. And what would be the upside of downside of having no sensitive people? So we keep filling this form out until we get to the point where we can have a thankfulness letter. Dear dog poo people, thank you for being there. Thank you for bringing me back to reality. I know I judged you and forgot how wonderful you are. Thanks for not reacting. I guess I just saw the bad thing and forgot that there's a benefit to it. And that it keeps me awake, it stops me from drifting off. And I know that if I drift off and go up myself, I might just attract a more serious regrounding event than dog poo on the footpath. I also forgot that there's two sides to you, and I've just been judging you as one-sided people. I mean, you must be super kind because you're taking the dog out for a walk in the first place and you're feeding the dog. So with love and gratitude, please accept this thankfulness. There's no need to apologize. I can now walk the path happily, welcoming the dog poop and the part of me you represent as the cause of it. So the signs of completion of a form, of a discard, are gratitude, lightness, looking up, little tears in the outer eye, a desire to embrace, calm, smile, generosity, a feeling of presence. Now, with a dog poo person, you may not get that, but certainly when you do a parent or a sibling, you will get these signs of eye tears. I'd love you to have a great day. Bye for now.